Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news, some breaking news concerning Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford, okay, and Turki Alashikh have met up. Terence Crawford is in Saudi Arabia right now, and they have talked about his future fights. He will, okay, be taking on another division. He will attempt to take on another division to be a champion in another division, and that is 160, okay? And, you know, you have Zanabek there, you have Adamas, you have Lada, you have a lot of fighters at 160, man. You know, Adamas and them, and himself, they had a war of a sparring session. Those lead to some of the best fights, because you remember Canelo versus Triple G was the same that we heard about, because we didn't see any footage, but nonetheless, they had 36 rounds together. And Adamas versus Terence Crawford, styles make fights. I think that will be one hell of a show. Lara, you know, he's my Cuban brother and all, but you know, he's sitting down more of in his shots. Not saying that he's not experienced at all. I'm not saying that. I would just prefer him to be a little younger if he was going to take on Terence. However, Terence is 38. Lara is what, 41, 42? So then Zanabek is probably the bitch of the bunch. Zanabek is that guy that's been looking for a big fight for a long time. So if Terence Crawford is going to enter the division to take on some of the best, I think Zanabek is probably the test. Bars. That's what I think. And I think it's a smart move, because it's better than to use the Roy Jones Jr. method by going down there to 154. You know what I mean? That's just too much weight to be losing and to be shredding, especially how good Terence Crawford looked at 168, because he didn't look like he had lost any type of inch or any type of edge, okay? So the last thing you want to do is tamper with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So 160, I do approve of that weight class. 160 is a weight class that he hasn't fought in. So if he does go to 160, right? Because that's the word around the campfire. He's went from 135 to 140, undisputed, 147, undisputed, 154, title, 168, undisputed, now 160. That's 6 different divisions, and he's become a champ if he can take on the 160-pound monsters up there, right? And I think it's a smart move, because 175 is a little bit too big. You know, know your own limitations. You know what I mean? Know them. And I think he knows that 160 is more realistic than 175. Not saying he couldn't compete there, but when you start going to those big weight classes, strange things start occurring, right? So yeah, I do agree 160 is the place to be. Bars. But you guys tell me what you think of this breaking news concerning Terence Crawford, Turki Alashikh, no retirement, going to 160, Lada, Zanabek, Adamas. Yeah. Leave your comments below. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.